Hi, it's Bud Wilkinson. Sometimes I'll be out doing a classic car story and the owner will say, hey, come with me, I got something I want to show you. And he'll take me out to a barn and there'll be something that's an incredible surprise. That happened recently in this barn, a 1957 Lincoln Premier. It's a literal barn find. The dust-covered luxury model was parked behind an old John Deere tractor. It belongs to Don Grant of Broad Brook, Connecticut, who also owns a 1970 Imperial Crown model. Lincoln sold the Premier from 1956 to 1960. It was originally purchased by Grant's great-uncle.
I don't know whether he bought it brand new or not. The reason I think he had that car and this car particularly is he had a lady friend that he liked hanging around with. He had never been married. He and his two sisters lived in the old farmhouse their entire lives, and he had taken answered an ad in the 1930s, I believe, for a couple of sisters that wanted to go around the country on a tour. And since he was a trained mechanic, he answered the ad and took these two sisters on a tour. And then later in life, he got together with one of the sisters and they palled around a lot. And I only saw him driving this car basically when he was taking her out for a spin, out to dinner, whatever it was they were doing. The Lincoln Premier I bought from his estate directly when he died in 1986 because I loved that car. I've never actually had the car out of the barn other than to drive it when I first bought it.
The Lincoln's been sitting for nearly 4 decades, making it a true barn find. Why haven't you gotten it running and why aren't people seeing it? It's amazing.
Life takes over. You know, I raised a family and worked a full-time job as well as running the farm. Just, you know, other things take priority. When you've got other things to pay for, you don't put the money into the car when you have other things that you have to pay for. And so I just figured, well, someday I'll get them out. Unfortunately, the day came for this one to get out of the barn. I figured this car was going to be a little easier car to get running. Probably parts availability would be better. It had less time sitting in the barn. It had fewer problems. But I certainly want to get the Lincoln out and get that one running, but I'm going to enjoy this one by itself for another year and probably get the Lincoln fixed up next winter. My plans for the Lincoln are basically the same as for this car. I'll bring it across town to the shop and let them take care of it. I've worked on equipment my whole life. Working on something like this myself, I've come to realize is one of the reasons why I've not gotten the cars out of the barn. Is because I keep thinking, well, I'll do this someday. And then I came to the realization I'm never going to do it because I always get sidetracked. Something else comes up and then it gets put aside again and I never get there. But by bringing it to the shop I trust and letting them take care of it, it happened. Now it cost me some money, I'll admit that, but at least I got the job done.
So what condition is the Lincoln in?
It's got 85,000 original miles. Nobody's driven as far as I know other than my great uncle. And I've driven it, you know, a little bit when I first bought it in 1987. Just kind of drove it around the farm a little bit. It wasn't registered, of course. And then I parked it in the barn. It's all original. It's got some scrapes and some rust spots and things like that on a car that's been sitting around for that long and is that old. The interior is in really nice condition given how old it is. The headliner is practically immaculate. It does have some rodent damage, unfortunately, because it's been sitting in a barn, and that's kind of what happens to cars when they sit in the barn. But it's the paint is pretty dull. I'm hoping that once I get the thing running, there's a local detailer that I've gone to in the past, and I want to bring it to him and see what he can do about bringing the paint back.
Do you know anything about that particular year and model? What made it stand out or anything?
Well, in 57, Continental was considered a separate line. It wasn't a Lincoln Continental. And this one was the Lincoln Premier, and that was considered to be their top of the line for Lincoln, the Continental not being part of Lincoln at that time. Now, this car is, my daughters affectionately called it the Batmobile growing up. And after doing some research, I came to find out that in I've heard several different stories about what year, but 53, 54, 55, somewhere around there, Lincoln came out with a concept car called the Lincoln Futura. That car it eventually became the Batmobile on the original TV series in the 1960s. That actual car did. with a few more modifications. This 57 Lincoln Premier is what I call a cousin to that, because some of the design features on this car are directly comes from that Lincoln Futura. There's a little bit of an eyebrow over the headlights on the 57, nowhere near as extreme as on the Futura or the Batmobile, but it's still there. The turn signals are inboard of the headlights. Now there's a faux air intake at the leading edge of the fin on the back of the car, and that is definitely also on the Lincoln Futura and the Batmobile. And also the treatment of the taillights are very similar as well. On the 57 Premier, they're much toned down compared to the over-the-top treatment that the concept car and the Batmobile got.
For now, the Lincoln Premier remains hidden in the barn, awaiting eventual revival. That's Ride Connecticut. In Broad Brook, Connecticut, I'm Bud Wilkinson.